That's right. This is the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast, episode number 336, recorded from the De Fauntleroy Studios in Kent County, Rhode Island, sunny Southwest Florida, and Mason, Michigan. Mason, Michigan.
How many have you had so far?
God, zero.
Oh.
I'm your host, Gary, joined as always by my co-host and my cousin Mike down in Florida. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing very well. How you doing?
Good. And as I said, we are also joined by Mike in Michigan for this week's episode. Mike, what's new?
Not a whole lot. What's new
That's
with you guys?
Not too much. How's Michigan doing this time of year? Is it miserable
Pretty good.
as usual? No.
No, it's not miserable at all. It's nice. Having some nice weather. Everyone's still at home, but yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's good. How's things down in Florida today, Mike?
Very good.
Yes.
Yep.
That's good to know. Glad to hear that. I think this is the end of my summer today. It was like 86 today, and then tomorrow's like a high of 72.
Are you depressed yet?
I'm not happy about that. That's for sure.
So you think you're definitely on the downhill? You don't think there's going to be any swings at all?
I'll get a couple more hot days.
Yeah,
but,
there'll be swings, but this is the end.
Yeah, it's basically it. Although they did push school back by 2 weeks, which I don't know what the point of that was. They announced we're going to push back the start of school by 2 weeks, and then at that point, they'll probably just announce that they're still not going to have school.
So is that just like your district or the state?
The whole state. So Rhode Island's doing everything as one this year.
Oh.
Because they were small enough we do that. So every school's going to have the same calendar and the same start date and end date and everything. The first time, though. So who knows?
Is there talks of them going back but doing it all virtual?
Well, there's different plans, and they haven't decided. They needed the unions needed an extra couple weeks to decide, I guess, to get ready. So they're gonna look at the numbers in 2 weeks from now, which is the 31st, and they're gonna decide if they're doing all virtual, part virtual, all in person, whatever. They have a few different plans they're gonna go with, and
I was watching a Zoom with Dr. Fauci and Raimondo the other day.
Yeah, that was
how to reopen the schools, and Dr. Fauci's talking about doing outside learning, and as long as we have them spread out and blah blah blah. I'm like, Tony, you ever been to Rhode Island? Yeah, maybe for the first 6 days.
Yeah. Come October 1st, it's going to be 38 degrees out and raining.
Well, yeah, and you can't really do that, but for half the school year in Florida either, because it'd be too hot.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's a Rhode Island thing. They weren't talking about doing outside learning here.
Oh, they're just talking about in the Northeast.
Yeah,
I think it's in general. He just happened to be talking to Raimondo at that point. But regardless, it's not. I don't know. I don't have any confidence that there's going to be in-person learning. I'll believe it when I see it. But it doesn't really matter. What about you? Your son's going in. You must be going into first grade, right?
Yeah, he's going into first grade. They're starting the year all online. I think they just came out and recently said it's at least through October.
That's good because like 5 and 6 year olds really get a lot out of the online learning. I'm sure.
Yeah, I know.
It's miserable. That was one of the setups they were looking at, was to have 5th grade and under going in 5 days a week in person learning, and then 6th through 12th grade is like a split schedule. Which I don't know. That would make sense because the younger they are, the more important being in the classroom is. It seems like.
It's also more difficult to have them actually like
sit at a computer.
Yeah,
well, that's true too, though.
At school.
That is true. What are your thoughts, Mike?
I really don't care.
You don't care. Fair enough.
No.
Well, what else would you like to discuss here? You have any golf lessons recently?
Nope.
Are you done? You finished your 3 lessons?
No, I did my 3, but he was this week on Wednesday. He had like a camp, like a young kids camp. So.
Oh, okay. So you might re-up, do another.
Yes.
You got to keep going.
I'd like to.
Seeing the improvement in the game where it feels like it's worth. That's good. You playing this weekend at Sarah Bay?
I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend.
They haven't decided yet.
No, I'm itching to go up to property and get a bite.
Oh yeah, you thinking you're that close?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you cancel your annual pass?
I did not.
So you got whacked. You get charged, and so now you're in.
Yeah, I could have canceled up until it was Tuesday at midnight.
Tuesday, yeah. So you had a couple days ago.
Billy, I was thinking, I need it for the podcast. I mean, you threw me down here. Now all of a sudden, I can't stop going.
It's not like you can go, like you said, though. You can't even get dates.
Yeah, it's opening up. They gave us another month, and it's opening up in another couple weeks. It was just the first 6 weeks that it was slammed, but
yeah,
the calendar's open pretty much for September. So
that's not too
even
bad.
on weekends.
Good news.
And I don't think there's a better way to do the parks than when it's completely empty.
I guess I'd still rather it not be with a mask on. I'd rather it be a little more crowded and not have to wear a mask and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know, but that's just not the hand that we were dealt with right now.
Well, I understand, but you said you don't think there's a better.
But I don't know if you understand, Billy, because you said that you'd rather go when it's empty and not have to wear masks, and that's not part of the deal right now. Correct, Mike?
No, I believe you said there's not a better time to go than when it's empty.
I heard somebody on YouTube say you can legitimately do the Magic Kingdom in 5 hours. That's pretty nice.
I believe
that's pretty nice.
That's crazy. That's yeah. I mean, you see the longest like wait times. If you ever look at the app, it's like 30 minutes is the longest posted that you ever see, like Flight of Passage or the Star Wars stuff. I guess as long as there's no breakdowns or lightning strikes, But that is so. You're thinking you may just drive up and get something to eat?
Yeah, I'd like to. It's in there.
How strict are they on like not getting in the parks? Like, how soon before you go can you get a reservation? Like, if you're on your way up and you refresh and see an opening, can you grab it that day, or do they close them off like the day of?
What, to get in?
To get into the parks.
Yeah, if it's open, you can get in whenever.
Okay, so you don't have to.
I've heard people actually go to the gate to see if they weren't up to the 25%, and they said a lot of times you can get in.
That's what I was wondering. Like, I didn't know if there was a cutoff. Like, they don't, once it's 24 hours ahead, it doesn't matter. So. They don't let you. Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure how that worked. So if you're on property getting a bite to eat, you refresh the app and you see like, oh, there's an opening at Epcot, you want to walk around, you would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you all the way up there. Where are you thinking of going if you go?
Well, now that the other 3 parks are hard to get into, I want to go to the parks that it's hard to get into.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, what restaurant if you're going up like to eat at a resort?
I don't know. Grand Flow Cafe. We're thinking she's dying for a lobster roll, so we're thinking maybe Boat Rights.
Well, Boat Rights would be good. Yeah. Not Boat Rights, Boat House, you mean, right?
But I'm sorry, Boat Rights is at Port Orleans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I assumed you.
Thanks for correcting me, Bill.
No
problem. For the sake of the podcast.
Yes, we have to be accurate here. Yeah, that's good. Now, the best lobster roll that you had is no longer available, right? The Ale and Compass place. What did it used to be? The cruise. What was that?
Captain's. No.
What was the name of the Ale and Compass before they changed it? Look how quickly we forget. Captain's Lounge or something.
Was it? It wasn't Captain's Grill, was it? Was that somewhere else?
Captain's Grill.
Was it Captain's Grill?
Yeah. Yep.
But you still like the Ale and Compass a lot, though, don't you?
I really do.
But they just changed the menu.
Yeah, and they rethemed it. Yeah, the inside's redone.
Have you been there for dinner? I know you've been there for breakfast a few times.
I believe lunch. Yeah.
Now, did you did you people listening to the podcast will not understand this. You said it was
the best. Have all our cameras on in the office, and as he's asking me a question, I'm giving him that concerned look, like NBC Nightly News, Miguel Almaguer, Los Angeles.
Yeah, you gotta put the video out.
Yeah, we will. You said that was the best lobster roll on property, though, right? The Captain's Grill.
That was a good one. Yeah.
But we'll have to see. You have to fill us in if the one at
can't possibly be better than Columbia Harbor House.
No. Nothing tops that one.
I haven't had their lobster roll. I know you're being sarcastic, but I don't think I've had the lobster roll there.
It's
It
pretty good.
Looks like a whole lot of lettuce every time I see it, and not a lot of lobster. Just like a big old whole leaf of romaine and a couple little knuckles of lobster.
Hey, Mike, why don't you, as the guest this week, give your unofficial beer sponsor before we get going?
Yeah. So this one is from Ordock Brewing Company out of Marquette, Michigan. This one is called the Reclamation, and it's an IPA.
Okay.
And it says a balanced mid-coast IPA built with an onslaught of Michigan and Pacific Northwest hops, tamed by a slight malt backbone. And it says it's got Cascade, Chinook, and Columbus hops.
Okay.
7% alcohol by volume. One sip. Show you the can.
Thank you.
Very nice.
One sip. Everybody knows the rules.
Now, while he's sipping that, do you notice that he's wearing the hat with his ball marker on it, even though he probably hasn't played golf since the gentleman's trip?
Probably hasn't taken that ball marker off his hat since the gentleman's trip.
I'm guessing not. I mean, does that ever come up in a helpful way? Like you see something on the ground and you just like put it down, leave a mark, and pick something up and put it back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It's good to have a ball marker once in a while.
I use it all the time to mark.
Always need a ball marker, Billy.
You can't go wrong with it.
Like right now.
Put it down where your beer was, so you remember to put it back.
Now I know exactly where the letter M is on the keyboard.
Perfect. All right, what's your score on
Anyhow,
IPA?
It's not my favorite IPA.
No, not his favorite.
I like it. It's almost a little bit too malty for me. But I do like IPA, so it's going to be a little bit higher. But I'm going to give this one a 6.8.
6.8. Okay.
6.8, Bill.
And I have a Narragansett. Which way am I going here? Dell's Lemonade Watermelon Shandy.
You've had this before, right?
I believe so. This one's 4.7.
Was it the watermelon? Was it the watermelon one?
I might have had the lemon last time.
Okay.
So this is the Watermelon Shandy, 4.7% alcohol by volume. This is brewed in Rochester, New York by Narragansett Brewing. It's a Shandy, Watermelon Shandy. One sip. Everybody knows the rules.
So basically half beer, half watermelon juice, essentially, Bill.
More or less. Very strong watermelon flavor. So if you like watermelon, it's a good beer. The first time I ever had a watermelon beer was at that place right near Fenway. What's that yuppie beer place right across the street from Fenway, Bill? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know exactly
I can't think of the name of it now. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. That was the first time I had it, and I really liked it. And this one
just up Yorkie way.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, Boston Beer Works.
That's right. Yeah, Boston Beer Works. Yep, that's right. This one reminds me of that, and I do enjoy it. But Shandies aren't my favorite. I'm going to give this one close to you, Mike. I'm going to give it a 6.6. 6.6 for this one. The Narragansett Watermelon Shandy from Dell's.
I'd like to also point out, usually when I record with you guys, either one of you or both of you, I usually drink more than one beer. Mm-hmm. So today I grabbed my cooler.
You brought a cooler with you.
I got my cooler with me.
This could go bad
for recording.
He's got no family this week. He's no responsibility. So now he's a cooler of beer as he records the podcast.
A cooler of beer in recording the podcast in my bedroom.
I guess that could be. I mean, I have a whole refrigerator like within an arm's length of me, so I guess it's
that's not
not as bad either. Well, maybe we should take a little break and come back and get into the meat of the episode. What do you guys say?
Sounds good, Billy.
Okay.
All right, we will be right back. All right, we're back for break. This is episode number 336 of the WDW Beyond the Gate podcast with Mike and Gary. We are joined this week by Mike Schaefer from Mason, Michigan.
Yeah, child.
Now that we have the new technology, we could do guests a little easier, and hopefully, if this goes well, then Mike is our guinea pig. We don't have to worry about messing things up when he's on because
Because I'm such a professional.
If his feed just goes away, the podcast actually improves. So we'll be fine.
Now, Mike,
if there's any
Mike,
problem.
I'd have to say I agree to disagree with Gary. What's your thoughts on that?
What, that you're a guinea pig?
No, that the show gets better if I just fall off. Okay, let's move on.
No, I want to hear Mike's thoughts on this.
Does the show get better?
Like, say, for instance, if I just mute his mic for the next 20 minutes, I think
you
the
think
show
it's a
would
better
improve.
show?
I think it's slightly better. It's not worse.
That's harsh.
It's not worse. I'm not going to mute the mic. I'm just saying if we run into technical difficulties, we'll just keep going forward and let him flounder away.
Yeah, that's fair, but
okay.
I mean, we
That's
haven't
all I'm
even
saying.
starwe and you're already talking about cutting his mic. That's a little harsh.
Yeah, it's
don't you
kind of
think?
messed up, isn't it?
It's a little messed up. Anyway, so this week's topic, we are talking about our top 5 Disney credit sit down restaurants at resorts only. So none of the parks and none at Disney Springs, correct?
Those were my rules, Billy, going into it.
Now, what's the boardwalk kind of caveat? All boardwalk area restaurants are on the table. Those are considered at the
absolutely
resort, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How about Swan and Dolphin? Are those considered?
Yeah.
Because I didn't put Swan and Dolphin in my.
They're on-site hotel.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're all on the same page here.
Mike, it doesn't sound like much show prep went into this with Gary. He's asking the rules now.
Yeah. I'm clarifying for our listeners.
Should know before.
I'm clarifying for our listeners as a broadcast professional. Like, we just started reading off our list that people wouldn't necessarily know what the list was. So I'm letting the people out there know that these are our top 5 single credit sit-down restaurants at a Walt Disney World resort. And we'll go from 5 to 1. Rank it from the worst, well, not the worst, but our 5th favorite to our most favorite. And as our guest, Mike, why don't you lead us off with your number 5?
Okay. Now, this is a place that kind of flies under the radar for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there twice, I believe. One time I just had drinks, and the other time I had a full meal and drinks there. But it is going to be Big River Grill and Brewing Works. That would be on the boardwalk.
Talk to me. This is an interesting pick, don't you think?
No,
Gary?
It is. I've had beer there, but I sat down at the bar and had a couple beers, but I never had food there. And I've always heard the food is mediocre, but I haven't had it, so I don't know.
Nah, Pete Likes Meat gave it a thumbs up, huge thumbs up.
Oh, really? Recently?
Yeah, about a year ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
that. No, it was at least a few years ago when I went there. I think I didn't even have kids at the time. Or if we did, Howard was very young. So it's been at least 6 years. But I know that I got a burger when I was there. And by reading what the burgers that they have, my guess is I got the black and blue burger.
Mm-hmm.
But they have 3 or 4 different burgers. They have a Kobe burger. They have a bacon cheeseburger. But some of the other highlights that I was looking at, blackened Creole salmon, flame grilled meatloaf.
I do remember seeing the meatloaf on there.
Yeah.
And wondering. Meatloaf's big time hit or miss for me, though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you do the ketchup, it's a no for me.
Oh, see, I like the ketchup.
No, that's a no for me.
You don't like Bill. You don't like the ketchup glaze on top. You're saying
correct.
Okay, all right, I can see that. But some of the other stuff, a Cajun pasta, and then for some of their appetizers that sounded pretty good. Of course, just brewery nachos. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with nachos at a brewery.
It's hard to mess up nachos.
Yeah, and then jalapeno spinach cheese dip was one of the other things that kind of stood out to me. But I've had pretty good experiences there. I thought the beers were pretty good, and the food that I had was pretty good too. So that's my number 5.
The only thing I would say about the menu isn't huge, if I remember correctly, and
it's not bad size actually.
But it's not bad. But it reminds me of like a Chili's kind of menu, like that kind of stuff, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If it's done right, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's not like there's nothing that really stands out as a unique item. It's just a solid kind of family.
So when you brought up
style
Chili's, are you
stuff.
taking a shot at Midwest Mike?
No, I like Chili's.
Okay.
I didn't say Applebee's. That's his like. Mike hates Applebee's. I like Chili's. I
Well,
think Chili's
that's because it's awful.
I think Chili's is a solid like chain restaurant, but they have all the basic stuff. It's nothing crazy, just like bar food. And I guess that's what this one is. It is a bar, so it makes sense that it would be bar food.
Yeah,
No.
and I love bar food.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who made the rules, which is me this afternoon,
Yes.
are these places that we have to have gone to?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. I only put places that I have been to. There's quite a few places that I would think would be on my list and that I had written down, but I had never been there. So I only put places that I've actually ate at.
I put a couple that I have not, or at least one, and no, a couple. I was going off menu and like my desire to go. And also, we should mention, which we haven't done, is that buffets are not eligible for this list as well.
It seems like I should have known that.
Yes, you should have. I guess maybe we should have been more specific to you, but that's okay. I think Mike may have put that.
I think in yours, just in yours.
That was just my message.
Mike from Midwest Mike would never know.
He didn't know that. That's our fault. So. If there happens to be a buffet on there, we'll let it slide this one time.
Or if you can improvise, you have a few minutes while me and Gary go through our number 5. So
Okay,
so why don't you go ahead, Mike? Why don't you give your number 5?
Number 5, Caribbean Beach, the new Sebastian's Bistro.
Okay, so this one you have not been, correct?
Well, you know what? There's a caveat because I did have some apps, and they come from there at the Banana Cabana.
So that's like half credit. Counts. That's like half credit. Yeah, that's definitely a technicality. You've had some food that you can get there.
And these jerk wings, Billy, were so good.
I remember.
Oh, they were so good.
That. I don't have a problem with you adding a place you haven't been to on your list either, because you've had so many that you know that it's going to be good.
Their menu is phenomenal, and you can't really go by the limited menu they have now with this COVID thing, but 6 months ago, they have so many good items on that menu.
Well, I do remember Schaefer wanted to hit that up on the gentleman's trip.
Yes.
And it wasn't a bad idea. I don't think it logistically
just didn't work
really worked out.
It just didn't work out time-wise.
But I was definitely down for that because the restaurant itself sounds really good. And I think that's a good, solid one on the top 5, especially for one that you haven't actually been inside the restaurant, but you've had a little taste, just a little teaser of their food, and you liked what you had. So that gives you... Oh, here we go.
She's making a gung face at the door. Yeah.
I've seen some dining reviews of Sebastian, and everything that I've seen looks really good.
Fantastic.
I really want to try the place.
Oh, yeah. Me too, big time.
High on the list. All right, so my number 5 is a place that I have not been to, and I may get a little bit of crap for this, but I don't care. And it's a place that I think just the atmosphere and then the ice cream is Beaches and Cream.
Oh, come on.
Which I like that kind of food. I like the diner, like the 50s, like soda fountain type food, like the dirters and the pastrami, the Reuben.
I had a couple on here that I thought I might have been called a cheerleader for.
This is a top 5 list, Bill.
I do not have Beaches and Cream. This is absurd.
This isn't your top 5 at the Epcot area resorts for crying out loud.
But see, here's my reasoning is I'm a big ice cream guy, so that bumps it way up already. And you get like a corned beef Reuben, like a pastrami Reuben or corned beef Reuben, a good Reuben, that goes way up. And you yourself said they had some of the best tomato soup you've ever had.
Yeah, I had a great burger. The tomato soup was good. I'm sure the grilled cheese and tomato soup is fine. But once again, this is a top 5.
Well, there's not that many one credit at the resorts only, especially ones that I've been to that, and granted, I haven't been to this one, but there's not a lot of single credits that really got ahead of it. Obviously, it made my top 5, so it's fine. You can give me crap, but I'm sticking with it. You're not going to, maybe at the end you'll say, well, what about this? And maybe I did forget something, but I'm happy with my choice right now.
It does make it a little. I will say it does make it a little bit more difficult not being able to put any of the buffets on there. I will say that, but I still
because I
don't agree with it though.
2 or 3 would be buffets if I could have if those were included. However,
I'm trying to get us to all think. Let's not always take the easy way out. I'm trying to get us all engaged and think. So take the buffets off the table.
We all think, we take the buffets off, and I give my opinion, and I get chastised for it because I'm not in lockstep with you. Why didn't you just send me the list and I could have read it then, if that's what you really want?
I'll give you the list for the next show.
Next time.
It's
fine.
not just Mike. Mike kind of sank in his seat.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he picked Big River Grill Works, which is probably the most garbage place on Boardwalk, and we just let him have a pass. I was trying to be nice, and then I picked Beaches and Cream, which everybody likes. I haven't heard any bad reviews on Beaches and Cream. And
I'm thinking outside the box here.
It's not thinking. That
place it's great. They got good food.
This isn't the thinking outside the box list. This is the top 5. Am I correct, Mike?
You are correct.
So this isn't
I can't wait to hear the rest of your top 5 cheerleader resort.
This isn't the top. This is not the top 5 outside the box restaurants.
Should we move on to my number 4?
Yeah, I think we probably should.
Okay.
It's very contentious.
All right.
Number 4.
So my number 4 is it's going to be a one credit service, and I'm actually going to go over to Geyser Point Bar and Grill, one of Gary's favorites.
That is one of my favorites. I didn't think that's considered a 1 credit, but that's okay. I'm going to let it slide because I love that place.
Well, the thing about it is that they have both there. They have
the quick serve.
They have the quick serve,
and then they have the bar.
Then they have the bar where you can actually be served as a sit down restaurant. So that's why I went there. I've had some pretty good food there. I've had the bison burger.
That's from the quick serve, I believe.
Yeah, but then they also have the wings there too.
The wings are very good.
Wings are very good.
Those are from the
very good.
Yeah, the bison burger you can get
both
as a sit. Yeah, at both. Okay. Well, they also got a steak sandwich, roasted salmon, crab cake, which sounded pretty good. But yeah, it's a great place. They have good food, and I really like the atmosphere there. Just hanging out.
I mean, I love it. That's
outside
my favorite
the
place on property, I think. Didn't make my list because I didn't consider it a sit-down restaurant, but that's okay. I'm going to let it slide because I love the place. Anytime it's on a list, I'm happy. So I'm not going to give you any gruff on this one. What about you? Do you think it's a fair choice, Bill, to make his list? Would you consider it a sit-down 1 credit?
No,
because you can't use the dining plan there.
Yeah, you can.
You can use the dining plan, a single credit there?
Yeah.
Are you just saying that?
No. And technically, you can use a table service credit
for a
quick service.
So there you go. It's within the rules.
Well, no, but that's the quick service part. At the bar, if you order the wings and a burger, does that count as a table service meal? You can use
not the wings and a burger, but probably the wings or the burger.
Well, you know what I meant.
Well, yeah.
Okay, we'll have to see if that. I don't know. Either way, I really don't like this guy. Mike, what's your number 4?
Going over to the basement at the Contemporary Resort, and we're going to the Wave, Billy.
I knew that was going to be on your list, Bill.
I also knew it was going to be on your list, and I ate there for lunch once, and I wasn't super impressed with it. Mm-hmm. But I might have just had a bad experience, or it just wasn't. It didn't blow me away. I think I was expecting a lot more. I love the atmosphere, though. I love the restaurant itself. Just the food was just run of the mill for me.
Where I had the best Bloody Mary.
And that helps. That certainly helps. I didn't have
that was a good spicy one, wasn't it?
Real spicy. Fantastic breakfast.
And I haven't had the breakfast. I know that's where they really shine too.
No, that's Bill. That's the place, kind of like similar to Ale and Compass, where they have like a small buffet, right? Mm-hmm. Is that correct? But you can also order like an entree too, right?
No, their buffets. Like a traditional buffet, but it's just on the Trail's End price range. It's like $21.
So the Ale and Compass is you get the buffet in addition to your entree for an extra. At the Wave, you do the buffet or an entree.
Okay.
And that works out perfectly because Kristen doesn't like breakfast buffets, so she can get something off the menu, and then I can do the buffet. And their buffet for $21 is a steal. They have tremendous items.
It's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I would like to try the breakfast there and give it another shot. The lunch didn't blow me away, but the breakfast sounds like it's a really good way to go.
And I definitely do have to try the bacon and eggs that Pete Likes Meat always raves about.
See, that's something that Disney doesn't normally do well. So if that's a good version of bacon and eggs, then
it's an appetizer. It's a pork belly.
Oh, okay. I see.
It's a pork belly, and it's off the menu now because it's so limited. But if you ask for it, you can get it. It's a pork belly with what they call a perfectly cooked, like poached egg,
like a poached egg. Oh, okay,
yes.
So that's not even a breakfast item necessarily.
Nope, it's
a lunch or dinner. Yeah.
Yes,
very interesting. All right, would you like to hear my number 4?
Yeah,
I know I'm not going to get any grief.
Can only go up from here, right, Billy?
Well, that's why I started at number 5. Number 4 is a place I've been to only once for breakfast, and I loved it. And it's close to my favorite breakfast place, non-buffet, and that is the Ale and Compass. That, as you were just talking about, which is maybe not, it's not really a weasel move because I ordered the entree. The shrimp and grits for breakfast was so good. And then that buffet that you can also get as an add-on is such a fantastic value there that if the dinner even comes close, even if the dinner service there is like just a little above average, that place still is easily in my top 5 because that breakfast is so good there. For what you get and the atmosphere and the location of it, it's just, I love that restaurant. I was blown away by it.
I haven't been to Ale and Compass, but it's definitely on the top of my list of places I want to go. And I want to go there for both breakfast and dinner. The menu for both looks great.
Yeah, the dinner, when it first changed over, I wasn't a huge fan of the breakfast menu, but then they added that little buffet and they kind of tweaked the menu a little bit. And then by the time we went last year, Mike and I, it was fantastic. One of my favorite meals I've had on property in a long time.
And I've heard really good things about their sweet breakfast items for people that like that, and also like the savory, like you guys like too.
I like both, but I was in the mood for a savory that day, and that was that shrimp and grits was good.
I watched a video about a month or two ago, and they had something that there is no way in hell I would ever think of getting. And after watching the video, I was like, yes. And it's the blueberry bacon pancakes.
Oh, yeah, that's one of those that sounds really good. Yeah,
a little sweet and a little salty. Doesn't that sound fantastic?
Yeah, I think that was I ended up not getting that because the price for the buffet plus an entree is the same. So I picked a more expensive entree just to try it because I was between that one and the shrimp and grits, and the shrimp and grits was more money. So I said it's probably a better value to get that with the buffet than not. That's how I made my final decision. But the bacon and blueberry pancake sounds good.
Is it like little crumbles of bacon in the pancake?
Yeah, the bacon's mixed into the pancake.
Mixed into the batter, yeah.
But it's like little small, chopped up crumbles in there.
Okay, I'm not sure.
That's what I'm asking. That's
how it's prepared, but it is actually really in the pancake. Yeah. Because I've done that before, not with blueberry, but I've done I'll make a crispy piece of bacon and I'll dunk it in pancake batter and just cook that. So it's just a piece of bacon with pancake batter on it. I call it pancaking, which is probably not the first time that's been said, but that's pretty good. But I've never done it with blueberries or even crumbled up. You don't like the pancaking? That's a bad name. I think you're mad because you like it.
I think you could do better.
Better than pancaking?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway, number 3. What do you got?
So my number 3 is somewhat a cheerleader joint, but I like it.
And here we go. He's going to say beaches and cream after he gave you.
No. That's the Ohana over at the Polynesian. I will say this. I've been to Ohana before for breakfast, and it was awful. It was not good.
That's what
it wasn't awful. It's just not worth it.
I did not like it whatsoever. Okay. It was below mediocre. However, the dinner, I've been there several times. I've never had a bad dinner there. The dumplings and the noodles are, in my opinion, the star of the meal, even over the meats. But it's hard to beat that shrimp too, though. But I really like everything that they serve there, and it's obviously they just keep coming around, giving you more and more. But yeah, that's one of my favorite places. So that's number 3 on my list.
I don't have a huge problem with that being on the list. It didn't make my list, but the main reason was because I feel like I kind of agree with what you said, but I don't think the meats are that good. I think everything else is fantastic, and they just kind of mail in the meats. Like the steak, the last couple times I've been, the steak hasn't been that good. The chicken's just okay, and I don't like the peel and eat shrimp. It's too much work for me.
I got no problem with the peel and eat shrimp. And of the 3 meats, I'd say that the steak is my least favorite. The shrimp is probably my favorite, and then the chicken.
That's what you want to be the best, though, is the steak.
Yeah,
and it's not that good. So I love the noodles. I love the dumplings, like you said. The wings, I love.
But, I forgot about the wings. Yeah, the wings are fantastic.
But the meats are definitely a low point of that.
And
meal.
let's not forget the bread when you first walk in with the salad.
Oh,
the
yeah.
bread's
Great
fantastic.
Starters.
And the dessert is one of my favorite desserts, but just the meats don't live up for me.
Yeah.
And the service there stinks now.
Really?
I've had bad service. Like, they rush you through it too much now, I feel like.
See, I haven't had problems with the service there at all. I like that.
It's not a bad choice, though.
For all these places, I like that if you are on the dining plan now, that you get an alcoholic beverage with your meal.
Can you get that Lapu Lapu thing?
Yeah, you can get the old Lapu Lapu. You can get the Lapu Lapu. You can get the
that's like $14. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
you can
good.
get any of that.
Got a little extra value there.
Drinks.
Yeah. All right, Billy, what do you have for number 3?
Number 3, going to the yacht club. Ale and Compass, baby.
Ooh, you're joining me.
I'm joining you.
That breakfast that we had before the last day of the gentleman's trip, that is like a top tier meal, isn't it?
Well, so I'm looking, and the 2 times that I went, I got the country ham and cheddar omelet.
The same thing by accident.
Got the same thing by accident. I'm like, I've never had this. And when it came, but check this out. There's this thing that I can't wait to get. It's an open-faced skirt steak sandwich with caramelized onion, poached egg, potatoes. And that alone is $19. For an additional $4, you can add the buffet.
That's exactly like the shrimp and grits ridiculous. Is the same thing. It's like 18 or 19 for the shrimp and grits, and then you get the buffet, which I wouldn't get just the buffet there. Like if that was an option for just the buffet for like $15, I wouldn't do it because there's nothing like substantial in it. But the meats and cheeses and the pastries were very good, like perfect, like starter for breakfast, if you will.
Take a look at this link that I sent you guys.
Okay, let me pull this up here. Send it in the private chat or on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, in the private chat. Look at this. It doesn't let you click the link, though.
No, it doesn't let you click it.
That's okay. I can copy it and paste it here. Oh, that is fantastic. That's a lot of food, too.
Is that gorgeous? For $19?
Yeah, that's crazy.
For those of you listening, we posted a picture of that skirt steak.
Yes, I don't know if I could do. Let me see if I could do a screen share on this. Did it go up?
Oh wow!
No, it did not go up.
I just pulled that up, Bill. That looks fantastic.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. What is?
Let me see.
Is that like potatoes and like little like orange peppers, or what is that off to the side?
No.
That looks really good. I love a poached egg too. You love poached eggs? Yeah, I love a poached egg.
How's this work? Let's see if this works here. I'm gonna try.
That's a really good choice. I like both your guys' choice for Ale and Compass.
Can you see it on the screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
If I didn't make the rule for myself that I was only choosing places that I had been to.
That you've been to, yeah.
Ale and Compass would definitely have been on my list.
Beautiful.
I really want to go there.
Well, very good.
It may have to be our starter for the Jammin's trip.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea.
So what do we have? So it's up to me now for my number 3. And this is another place that I have been, but I've only been for breakfast, and this is my favorite breakfast on property, and it's Kona. I love their breakfast there. The macadamia nut pancakes are so good. The tonga toast, the loco moco. Love the location. It's just so much better. Like My favorite part of going there is sitting down at Kona and watching all the idiots lined up to go to the Ohana breakfast. As I'm sitting down,
as you're sitting in an empty restaurant,
I'm sitting in an empty restaurant,
breakfast.
and I'm like, you people are missing the boat, and you're just over there waiting for just mediocre food so you can wave at a character and pay twice as much.
Yeah, some soggy Mickey waffles. Well, you can
I'm sitting here. Yes, exactly. And the dinner menu there is very. That's up my alley. That's my style. It has like the sushi. It has kind of like the Polynesian kind of Chinese food influences on that. So that's a place that I need to try for dinner. I think. Have you been, Schaefer, for dinner to Kona?
No, I haven't. But that's also. I know
you've been, Bill.
Yes, correct.
A while back, right?
Yeah. 6 years ago.
And you said it was pretty good, if I remember.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you had? Was it that teriyaki steak?
Yeah, I think it was actually, Mike. Yes.
I feel like that's not on the menu anymore, but I know a lot of people.
I think they changed the menu
really
a couple years ago, but it still looks pretty good, especially like the sushis and stuff.
Yes.
So Kona, and I love the breakfast. I mean, if you're going on your first Disney trip and you're like, oh, where should I go for breakfast? I would definitely recommend Kona to people because you can get over to Magic Kingdom easily after that. You can get there pretty easily before, even if you take like the bus to Magic Kingdom, then you hop on the monorail or the boat to go over. You see probably the most, I don't think it's their best resort, but would you say it's the most well-themed that you could get from over there? Or the most uniquely themed, I guess? Like Grand Floridian obviously stands out, Contemporary stands out. But the Poly, when you're in the Poly, it's like you really feel transported somewhere else in that lobby and on their grounds.
That is one of my favorite places to just hang out and relax.
Yeah.
Is the Polynesian lobby.
So going there for breakfast, starting your day, and then heading over to the Magic Kingdom after having a gorgeous breakfast there, I think is a perfect way to start a trip.
Last November when I met you, when your parents were down, probably on their last vacation, and I met them at Kona for breakfast. And you know me, I'm always at least 15 minutes late for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there, and there's no sign of them. So I had, I had my mug, of course, my refillable mug, and I went down.
Because I'm sure you're staying at a resort.
And I got a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking around the resort, and it was beautiful. Like you said, I'm just walking around the lobby, just having a coffee, just taking it in.
It's a great lobby.
The sun's just starting to beam through all the windows. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great spot. I love Kona, and definitely going to try it for dinner. Probably my next time I'm there. I'm going to make it a goal.
I don't know if it's actually considered like part of Kona or not, or if it's like separate.
Oh,
but that little
over there,
that little coffee stand right there.
Yeah,
lots of times I'll get like an iced coffee, on my way to the park, or
I think you can even get like sushi from there.
Yeah, you can.
That little stand.
Yeah,
like during lunch hours and stuff.
Yeah,
so that's a pretty good tip, actually. All right, number 2, Mike Schaefer, what do you got?
I don't think there's a whole lot to say about this one because we just talked the heck out of it. But my number 2 is Kona.
Kona, okay.
Yeah, I love the place. It's a great place for breakfast. The cool thing about it is like the menu is just, it's so creative and so different than anything else you're going to get anywhere on property.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 very unique entree options there.
Yeah, like
Billy, is this where you cut his mic? It sounds like he's talking underwater.
There's something going on with your microphone here. I don't know if you're maybe you're running out of batteries on it or something. It does sound a little strange.
Is it any better now?
No, it is not.
All right, hold on. I'll switch it out.
All right. Well, as he said, Kona does have a lot of very unique options that you can only get there. Like the macadamia nut pancakes, the Tonga toast,
Loco baby,
the Loco Moco, which is very good, and then the Tonga toast, which that's like their signature thing, and people definitely like that. But
and something that they took off the menu that I absolutely love was the steak and eggs.
The steak and eggs, that's right, and they don't have it on the menu.
Eggs there.
But you wonder, they change their menus often enough that could always make its way back on at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
You never know, but
And that's always something that you can probably ask for.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have steak. I'm sure they serve steak for dinner. So I guess if you ask for like steak and eggs, I'm sure you could get that. I know you do that. Like when you go to the Grand Floridian Cafe, you ask for the chimichurri sauce for the steak.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not the kind of guy that's going to order off menu. Like you said, like the Pete Likes Meat tip of the bacon and egg appetizer at the Wave. Like if it's not on the menu, I'm not going to ask for it. I'm like, oh, I heard you can order this thing off the. Like I feel weird doing that. What are your thoughts?
I don't normally do it, but somebody did just tell me that the chimichurri, they just go right next door to 1900 Park Place.
That's different to me because that's just the sauce. It's not like you're ordering a different.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I've done is I've ordered that, and I gave her another $7 on top of her tip, so
right.
I definitely made it worthwhile.
Yo, certainly, and I wouldn't go. What the technology problems we're having over here with Mike?
Sounds like he's going through like a toy chest looking for his He-Man guys.
I'm looking for my other headphones.
Well, now it's working, so just sit down where you are.
Just sit down and
I won't
shut
move.
up.
I won't move.
All right. So anyway, we talked up Kona pretty good while you were fiddling around it. What else did you want to add about Kona? You said the unique options and
I was listening the whole time.
Okay. What else do you like about it?
You guys covered it pretty well.
We covered it all pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you and I agree on Kona. How about you, Bill? What's your number 2 quick serve? Not quick serve, single credit.
Heading over to Grand Floridian, baby, the aforementioned Grand Floridian Cafe.
Can't go wrong with that.
Gotta have a breakfast, Margie. And
breakfast is so good, but the dinner's fantastic too.
The dinners are great. One of the best French onion soups on property.
Yep, no doubt about that. Haven't had anything bad there.
They have a lot eggs Benedict flight.
Right.
That is to die for. I think they have like one that's like a lobster, another one that's chorizo. I mean,
and then the traditional one. And then they have that like chicken and waffles, which I haven't even had, but that looks fantastic for the breakfast. And then they had that lobster thermidor burger, which I don't know if that's still on the menu or not.
Yep. It's on the current one.
And then, their dirters are good. They have the shrimp and grits for dinner, which is very good.
I think they may have a meatloaf, like a turkey meatloaf, actually.
Interesting. I don't think
it might not be on the menu now, but it was pre-COVID again.
No, but still. It's a really good menu, very good menu, and it's one that, and I think it's a big plus for guys like us. You can get in anytime you want.
Yeah,
It's not like you have to make. Even Kona can be a little difficult for breakfast to get a reservation, depending on timing. If you go later in the morning, it's usually not too bad. But if you want to do like pre-park, it's usually pretty busy. It's a smaller restaurant, but like Grand Floridian Cafe, you can roll in there a day of and just ask for a table and you'll get seated pretty quickly, generally. But yeah, the onion soup there, it's so good.
That's another one of those places that I haven't been to yet. That probably
you've never been to Grand Floridian Cafe?
No, I've never been there.
I've been there the most out of any restaurant on property.
I think I have too.
And I think the night that all the three of us met, I think you guys went there earlier that evening, if I remember right. You went there and then Magic Kingdom. And then we met.
That's possible because we were with my parents, so we definitely a good chance that we went there.
I think you guys did.
We were because you were you were dehydrated that night.
Yeah, and I didn't feel good at dinner. I didn't eat much of my dinner.
That's right.
But it was we went there because that's why I didn't drink at the bar when we were watching the World Series game because I wasn't feeling great, so I didn't want to have any
with the rain delay
cocktails with the rain delay. Yeah, so that's a good. That's a good one, Bill. So my number 2 it was also on your list and one that I have not been to, Sebastian's Bistro. Just based on the menu. I mean,
it's fantastic, isn't it?
It's a new restaurant.
2.
Yeah, my number 2. High up on the list.
Yeah.
I would definitely love to go there very soon. And especially now that it's on the Skyliner route, it's so accessible now. It's tough to go if you don't have
specifically
a car,
to Caribbean Beach.
Yeah, if you don't have a car on property and you're on vacation and you're at Epcot, to get to the front of the park, to get on a bus, to go to Caribbean Beach and eat, it's a big ordeal. But you could just sneak out that back entrance, and get on the Skyliner, hop off, grab a lunch, and get back on, and you're good to go.
Yep.
So that's definitely high on the list. But the menu options there, especially after you talked about those jerk wings, I mean, that's perfect. We talk about I'm a chicken wing guy. I know you are, Mike, and Schaefer. I assume you've always talked about that, but
yeah,
not a ton of places that you can get chicken wings on property. But the couple that have them are pretty good. You talked about Geyser Point; those wings were very good.
Yeah,
I mean, you said the ones at
Ohana.
Sebastian. Ohana has good wings. No buffalo wings, though. If you've noticed, it's not like a place that has buffalo wings, but the kind of like the different style wings are not too bad.
And I'm fine with that because I'll go to B-Dubs if I want something like that. But like when you're at Sebastian's, you want something that you're not normally going to get at a
I agree. Like
regular
the jerk wings
restaurant.
that's right up my alley. I would get that's a flavor I would try at Buffalo Wild Wings if I was there. You get like a half dozen, extra
Caribbean
hot,
jerk.
and then you
I've
get
had
the half dozen Caribbean jerk. Yeah,
yeah, they're great. But again, not one of my favorites. And these wings over there, Bill, they're so meaty.
Yeah, you said they're
almost
big too.
Double the size of Buffalo Wild Wings, and Buffalo Wild Wings doesn't cheat you.
No, they're not small, but they're like average size. You can get bigger, obviously, but these are pretty big.
Like so meaty. They're so good.
Gigantic ones. That's good. All right, Schaefer, you ready?
Yep.
You ready for number one?
Yes.
All right, what do you got?
So my number one, I've been there a few times. Everybody that I've been there with has always been extremely happy with their meal. And it's over at Old Key West Resort, and it's Olivia's Cafe.
Number one. I don't have a problem with that. I'm surprised number one, but I think it's a good sit down.
It's a place that's really underrated. They have great food. I haven't been there for breakfast, but I've heard really good things about breakfast.
Breakfast is good there.
Well, Gary pretty much ordered everything off the damn menu.
That is fair. Very fair.
I got breakfast today. Oh, and that Ponce, can I get some biscuits and gravy too?
I mean, if there's biscuits and gravy as a side, you have to order it. I don't see what the problem is.
But the most recent time that I've been there was for dinner. I got the Tortuga seafood stew, and that has shrimp, scallops, calamari, mahi-mahi, mussels, simmering in a tomato broth.
Dirty to me, Mike.
With cannellini beans, chorizo, fingerling potatoes, and toasted crostinis.
Are you kidding me?
It was outstanding. It was really good.
Really good.
I also, every time I've been there, I've also got the conch fritters too, which are really good.
Yes.
Which are really
they have
good.
that lime sauce, right? That like key lime.
Yeah,
sauce.
it's the Yeah, let me see. What did they say? Because I was looking at that just earlier. Oh yes, it's key lime mustard and roasted red pepper remoulade.
Remoulade, yes, sir.
Yeah,
I remember when you in the Northeast listening. They're very similar to clam cakes.
Yes, they're basically the same thing.
But they just use conch.
So yeah, that's
we went
my
on the
one.
gentleman's trip. I think that's all you got, right? Because that was after we played golf, and you wanted something small, and you got just the conch fritters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I thought we were going out to dinner that night.
Yeah, we ended up. I had like shrimp and I had the biggest thing on the menu. Like,
you got like a full meal. I thought
we get a soup too,
Mike?
We
were just having a snack.
Oh yeah, you might have got soup too.
Actually, I think I probably did, but I don't remember what the soup was.
So your microphone's doing that thing again. I don't know what's going on, but we'll just soldier on. We're at our number one. We'll just keep going. But yeah, good choice. I that did not make my list. Maybe that should have been there instead of Beaches and Cream though, because I've had two good meals there, one good breakfast and one good lunch. They almost didn't let us in for that breakfast. You remember that, Bill?
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite stories. It's the stupidest thing. Can we get a table?
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing that happened to you guys.
Just there or in general, every other places?
Multiple places around property.
Yeah, it was so strange. Like you could see there was no one there, and it's like, oh, can we get a table? Oh, sorry, we're only taking reservations. So then I literally went into the gift shop, pulled up the app on the phone, made a reservation for like 4 minutes away, and I was like, oh yeah, we have a reservation. Like, oh, right this way.
I love that. I love that gift shop too.
It's a cool little gift shop.
It definitely is.
I did the same thing at the Grand Floridian Cafe. Nobody's ever there, so we were just one morning. We're like, well, let's go up to the cafe and get some breakfast. So we drive up there, and the guard, stops me and we're gonna have breakfast. All right, what's your reservation? I'm like, I don't have one. I'm like, you don't need one at the Grand Floridian Cafe. He's like, I can't let you in without one. I said, all right, I'll just turn around. And I turned around. I went to the Magnolia, made a reservation. Turned around, the guy just starts laughing. Here you go, Pod's $9.40. Let me in.
It's so stupid, isn't it?
It is pretty. I mean, I get it, but
Yeah.
It's like
At
they
least
don't know
with
that
that,
I'm not trying to game the system, so they have to
Yeah.
have some type of safeguards.
Yeah. That makes makes a little more sense with parking, but when I'm actually like trying to get in the restaurant and there's open tables, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, nobody's parking at Old Key West for the convenience to get to other parks.
And if they are, they're not trying to get into the restaurant either.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Bill, what's your number one?
Number one, we're going to the Swan.
Ooh.
Il Molino.
Oh.
That's a
Il
good
Molino.
choice. See, is that that's one credit? That's a one dining credit?
It's technically no, it would be a one dining credit, but they're not on the Disney dining plan. They are on tables in Wonderland.
All right,
but it would be price wise what a one credit would be.
Okay, that's kind of.
I think once in a while they, and I might be wrong. Once in a while they do participate in the dining plan, but this
I mean, that chicken parm is
perhaps the best.
Parm messed me up.
The best Italian food on property.
Yeah, you said it's very good.
I've heard that too.
But nobody ever thinks to go.
No.
I think as part of the reason though is it doesn't like pop up when you're making like reservations and stuff.
Yeah, you can find it on the app because
you can find it, but I don't think it comes up like as recommended. Like I think they push their stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. You do have to look for it. Sure, yeah.
So I can kind of understand a little bit, but yeah, that's one that next time I'm going to do an Italian. I'm not going to eat in the Italy Pavilion. I'm not going to go to that Al Forno place. I'm going to go to Il Molino.
We'll go to Il Molino. Absolutely,
some
baby.
Italian. That looks really good. And you said, the price point isn't bad.
No, if you look at I mean, you're looking mid-20s.
Yeah, it's as much as you're going to pay at what's the one? The Gusto? Tutto Gusto?
Tutto Gusto.
Tutto Gusto is a little wine bar.
Oh,
Tutto Italia.
Tutto Italia. It's probably the same prices as that place, maybe even a little less. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do like that place, but it's probably better, like you said.
Complimentary limoncellos after your meal.
That's worth it. That's a good little thing.
And it's way too sweet for me. It tastes like lemon meringue, so I gave Susie mine. So she had 2 pops right after dinner.
She gets a little.
She's a big fan of that, wasn't she?
Yeah,
those are good. I like limoncello. Do you like limoncello in general? And that was just too sweet there, or are you just not a fan?
I think I would drink it maybe, but I took like one sip and I'm like, oh, this is way too sweet.
It's very sweet, but it's good, especially if it's nice and chilled. It's a good thing. So my number one we already talked about, and it's the Grand Floridian Cafe.
Number one.
That's my favorite single.
I bet you were shocked when that came up as number 2 for me.
I thought it was going to be number 1.
What the hell is he doing? What is he going to do for number 1?
I thought it was going to be your number 1, but like I said, I haven't had a bad experience there. Even the time I was too hungover to eat, it wasn't a bad experience. I just wasn't doing so good after the All-Star. The All-Star takes it out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A night at the All-Stars, you're not ready.
Night at the All-Stars, you're not going to do well the next day.
You step foot in the Grand Floridian and your body shuts down. So it's a shock to the system.
The old chili cheese bar.
Oh, that was not
chili
good.
cheese dog and Budweiser Lights will really do you in.
No, it was Yinglings, actually.
Yeah, he was drinking. He drank like
one.
a box of Yingling. Yeah, it was a disaster.
It was a box of Yinglings and like 4 draft Bud Lights at the bar there. I think we ended up having.
Yeah, we did.
That was not a good night. That was a good night. It was not a good next morning. It was for you. You got both breakfast entrees and you went to Magic Kingdom by yourself while I slept on the couch.
Yeah, I brought your leftovers home. It was fantastic. Hey, Pods, if you don't mind, I'm going to go do Carousel of Progress. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to take a nap.
That was great. Just sitting on the couch.
Just Billy's buying like medication and water and Gatorades in the gift shop. And
I did buy Pepto.
Yeah, using your golf clubs as a pillow.
Yeah, I didn't have the golf clubs, luckily, but I had my backpack, which was snuggling up with that. Yeah, that was a bad one, but I love that place. The onion, like you said, the onion soup there is so good. Just that alone makes it worth it to go, because you get that fantastic onion soup, which I'll go out of my way for good onion soup, and then the entrees are all so good there. And the breakfast.
And don't forget, they have a combination breakfast.
That's what I was just going to say. I love that.
Such a nice option.
I love that because if someone, if you want to go for a late breakfast, 11 o'clock, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for breakfast food, and I'll go there. And if you want to have your steak and eggs or your pancakes, and I want onion soup and a dirter, guess what? We're all happy.
And you know what? A lot of times that's how it works for when I meet your parents up there, because we want to leave the house at 8, get up there 10ish or whatever. So a lot of times, like we'll make a 10:45 or an 11 o'clock reservation, and your dad he gets that like that the Grand Floridian
Open
sandwich.
table?
Yeah, exactly.
That open face. So like Susie will get the Benedicts, I'll get something. Your mom will either go breakfast or lunch. So it works out absolutely perfectly.
It's perfect. I'm surprised more places haven't adopted that.
Hey, Bill.
That method, yes.
Has Susie got that? Has she got that trio, or did she just get like one of the?
She did. She's done both. She got the trio one time too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
You're a Benedict guy, Schaefer, aren't you?
Yeah, you know that.
Because you tried to weasel it at the Whispering Canyon.
I did, yeah.
If I order the Benedict, can I still eat all their food? I was like, no, you can't do that. Like, oh, okay. I guess I'll get the platter then. It's so weasel.
That chorizo Benedict and the lobster one, but those both sound so good to me.
Yeah, the trio that's a great option. That trio.
Yeah.
Are there any honorable mentions?
I would say Olivia's is an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, I mean
Olivia's was one of mine too because that buttermilk chicken is.
I remember you said that's really good.
So good.
Yeah,
my wife. The last time we were there, the last time we were there, that's what Roxy got, and she loved it, and she loves her some fried chicken too.
Oh, it's so good.
I probably would have more honorable mentions, but when I was making my list, I thought that
the buffets
were included. Yeah, so the only one that was on my list that I wasn't able to actually put in the show was Boma, and Boma was my number one.
Yeah,
Boma was my number one.
I would say honorable mention for me as Sanaa, but I haven't been, so Sanaa. I don't really know a lot about it. And you also got food poisoning there, so I don't know.
I've been twice. Yeah, one time I got food poisoning. I've been twice, and it's
just okay. Obviously, it didn't make your list, so that's honorable mention for me as well.
Sanaa, I would say Sanaa is good, but I think the reason that place is so successful is because of where it is.
I was gonna say the atmosphere
with the view,
the food,
the view and the atmosphere. Yeah.
I mean, it's the only option for Kidani Village.
That's a good point, too.
Other than walking over to Jumbo House. So,
which, by the way, you can see how long that walk takes on our YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search for WDW Beyond the Gates. We have a video of your walk from Jumbo House to Kidani Village, and then another video of your walk from Kidani Village to Jumbo House. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Very nice.
I just watched the video, and it's just so soothing to watch.
People love the walk-arounds.
They do. Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
To just see things back like when they were normal, like at Disney World, at the resorts, it's nice to watch.
It is. Brings you back to a simpler time back in February.
long time ago.
Long time ago, back in February. All right, we're getting a little long here, so let's take our second break and we'll come back and wrap everything up.
Bill, we got to hit social media.
Yeah.
Because we got people who answered this.
Oh, all right. Pull them up. Did you got to pull them up?
I got Facebook if you want to do.
I think Instagram only Schaefer answered, and he's.
Yeah, but he screwed it up. He did the parks and shit, so we can throw him under the bus.
No, I didn't.
He did buffets. That was it. Let's see what we got here. Doug Welling liked the photo. Yeah, I'm not going to mention Instagram because no one else said anything. All right, we're back for break. You just got through listening to episode number 336 of the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast. We got some feedback on our Facebook page on what people would choose for their top restaurants at the resort. So, Mike, why don't you read some of those responses that we got?
We have the willing. We have the willing. So Doug said definitely Trails End.
Oh,
good food
Doug's
and drinks.
Guy.
I don't know how he would know about the drinks.
Well, he's got an occasional
Mountain Dews.
Yeah, they have good Mountain Dews.
He loves Mountain Dew. Mellow Yellow. It's Coke products.
And then his lovely wife, Sue, said Trails End, of course, and Homecoming for the chicken and moonshine cocktails, where Gary responded, please read the post again, ... carefully.
That sounds like it was Gary.
Not sure which resort Homecoming is in, but...
half credit.
We'll give her half credit for that?
Yeah.
and then
At least
Rachel Till's Whispering Canyon Cafe. And I'll tell you, that may have been on my list if it weren't for our last breakfast.
That breakfast. So that you're saying the dinner experience was better than the breakfast experience.
Yeah, I like the dinner. I like the dinner there.
Very much so. One of the things that I'll say about that breakfast experience, though, was the bacon there was actually good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
Which is weird, because usually all bacon at Disney is not good.
It's not great.
But that was actually good.
It's funny, though, because if you go back and watch that video...
We were very positive.
But we were so hungry. We were just been in the car for 2 hours.
You know what?
That is true.
I go back and I analyze that quite a bit, because I don't think the food was that bad. I think what the problem was the experience, because it took forever to get our food.
Yeah.
And then we became rushed. And then when Gary called the golf course to see if we could push our tea time back a half hour, the guy's like, no, we're slammed. You got to get here as soon as you can. I might be able to push you a couple groups, but I can't promise you anything. And then I think we just got into a panic, because I think we really wanted to sit there for another half hour and have some more coffee and talk. And I just felt so rushed.
The time that first plate came out took probably like 25 minutes.
Yeah, for something like that, for that platter, they should just turn it. And we were just sitting and sitting and sitting. And I think that's what killed it.
Yeah. And if you remember, when we were leaving your house, we were actually talking, well, maybe we'll get breakfast and then we'll go over to Geyser Point and get Bloody Mary.
Yeah, we had a little bit of traffic, obviously, on the way.
Which we never
ran out of time. Yeah, we ran out of time there. But yeah, it's funny though that watching the video as the food was coming out, we were eating. The food wasn't bad. It just wasn't, like, a couple of things weren't good, and then the whole point of the platter is it's like all you can eat. And then I felt like we didn't get all we could. Like, we wanted more, and we just ran out of time.
Because I think too, we got it took so long for the second one. And then he said, "I'm going to go run and get you guys some more." Yeah, and then that took another 15 minutes where we were expecting. Because I remember you were doing video, taking pictures while one person went to the bathroom, and we still hadn't gotten our second platter.
Well, as soon as he brought the first ones out, he's like, "I'm going to put in your extra stuff."
Yeah,
and it didn't even come out, and then we were still waiting. Like, it should have come out while we were still eating that first one, but it took forever. So
he should have put in like 2 for us right away.
Yeah,
but he was a great server.
He was good.
He was a great server. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was the kitchen. It wasn't him.
Yeah. What was it? Was it that like yogurt that we had?
Oh yeah, that oatmeal.
That oatmeal. That was really good.
That was also the first thing any of us had eaten, so that could have been. It wasn't bad,
good though. It was good.
Yeah, we were eating dirt at that point with our coffee, and it was fantastic.
They're like, this is pretty good dirt. Anyway, so anything else on the social media we need to get to?
I don't think so.
You got everything there, so we'll wrap it up because we're going a little long. You can find us on YouTube, like I mentioned, youtube.com. Search for WDW Beyond the Gates. Maybe if we're lucky, we could throw this episode up too, since we recorded it. You could go on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, tune in and search for WDW Beyond the Gates. Subscribe there. Our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is at WDWBTG. Make sure to follow us
as we put this on YouTube.
Yeah. Make sure you follow us on those, at least on Facebook and Twitter, because when we go live, we're going to go, we'll be able to go live on Periscope, on Twitter, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live all simultaneously. So make sure if you want to see our excellent live broadcasts, which won't always be, most of the time there won't be an episode when we go live. It's just going to be us messing around. But yeah, make sure you are subscribed at one of those locations so you can tune in and get notifications for that. Website, wdwbtg.com. You can email us info@wdwbtg.com, Gary at wdwbtg.com, and Mike at wdwbtg.com. Anything else either of you two want to add? What do we got? Carol Brady down here at the bottom looking around.
It's the Brady Bunch. Look it up.
You gotta look down at me.
Yeah.
I'll look up.
Look down at Mike.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should probably wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to episode number 336 of the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast.
I gotta look this way for Gary.
For our guest Mike in Michigan and my co-host Mike, my name is Gary. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.